everyone! Welcome to another Movie Monday, and we're continuing our trend, of which today we watched a Goofy movie. Wait, it is a Goofy movie,
It is
not
a
the Goofy.
yeah.
It is a goofy movie.
Okay. Yeah, of which, Valen, you've also seen this movie before, right?
Mm-hmm. I saw it at least a few times as a kid, and then I saw it, I want to say once randomly in college. Somewhere around then.
I watched this a lot when I was a kid because we had it recorded on VCR, which somehow with the theme of this movie is actually pretty accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie is definitely like, because I think it was 95, 6. It was something like mid 90s, I think. And it definitely has like a mid 90s like feel to it.
Yeah.
A lot of like, well, the goofy stuff is like, it has like, and like there's a lot of like aesthetic stuff and just choices, and some of like the dialogue is like kind of similar, especially with like the kids or whatever. That's not a criticism by any means, it's just an observation. That's kind of interesting. Because, I mean, like, the whole premise of the movie sort of, for example, doesn't really work if, like, they had cell phones. So, there's a couple things like that where it's just like, okay, well, whatever. So, yeah.
I feel like in that way, while it takes from the era that it was made, it's not in the way of, like, you know how nowadays when people want to set something in, like, modern day, they'll, like, add some cringe-worthy things, like they'll be like, oh, said song is playing on the radio, let me just put some lyrics in my story. No, and people will laugh at it, but in like 5 years it becomes kind of cringy.
Yeah.
Here it's kind of like it works because it takes place in a whole separate universe, so it's not, even though it has like 90s-esque technology, it's still far removed that you could still watch it and it's not really cringe-worthy either.
It feels weirdly like, timeless and of its time. I guess it is because you can just be like, oh, okay, it's just weird dog people doing weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maya, what did you think of the movie?
Oh yeah, I for some reason I never saw it before. I think maybe because like whenever it was on, I just didn't catch it. But like probably millions of times it was on. But yeah, I liked it. It was a really cute, wholesome movie with good music.
Yeah, I don't know. I found myself like sometimes I'll be like, I want to listen to music from the Goofy movie, and I'll actually just look it up on YouTube and just listen to it. Like, I think weirdly enough, out of like a lot of the Disney songs that I grew up with as a kid, like I find myself like rewatching the Goofy movie ones the most for whatever reason.
I think it's also because that there's like actually stuff to look at, like the gags and just the general...
guy tied up in the trunk.
Yeah, that was the thing, and then the corpse coming out of the coffin in the hearse.
There's also the Mickey and Donald cameo.
Yeah, and I was just like, whoa, what are they doing? And the nuns, like, that whole sequence is just like, well, huh? What? What?
How much weird shit can we throw in, like, 2 minutes?
Yeah, basically. But I always like things like that, where it's like, okay, something that should be kind of mundane, but let's, like, put some really subtle or really outrageous-looking stuff. Like, Bigfoot. Bigfoot is in this movie.
And, like, kind of for no reason, but, like, it's not really in a bad way. It's just like it's just sort of accepting that, like, yeah, okay, weird shit's happening. All right, like it's just like, okay.
Yeah, I was just like, what
do you want from this movie?
Just
and then Pete's freaking RV too.
Yeah, like what the heck? Chop down trees, bowling alley, pool. Goddamn. Like I used to fantasize about like mobile homes like that where it would be like compact and you could bring it places, because I grew up kind of in the south-ish where there's like tornadoes and I was terrified of them, and I was like, I wish we could put our house like on a vehicle and just drive away. Yeah, so like I don't know, that was That was something that took me back, man. Like the whole weird imaginary RV that has compartments that pop out.
Basically, there's a lot of sight gags and like little Easter eggs and stuff. Like there were the emo kids. Like you could tell all the cliques at the school and everything.
Yeah, that's okay. Random side note, but like maybe we were just like a bit too old. But I swear that like in like the mid '90s through like mid 2000s, like in any sort of kids anything that had to at least like that showed a school, even some that didn't show a school, there was always like some like goth or emo kids, and I'm like, did these people actually exist? Like, I never.
We didn't have any goth or
we didn't
emo
either.
kids
It was just like it was so weird. There was like always a goth or emo kid in like every single kid's property during like for this like 10-year span from like 95 to like 2005, and it's just like really oddly specific. I don't know why.
Like the only thing we had were the scene kids, and they were like really gross in our
We don't even. I don't even think we really had any of
Also
those.
the punk kids, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. Like I always thought of them as scene kids because they were like kind of gross. Sorry.
No, random tangent. I know, but it was just something that I just. It's something that's been on my mind for a while, and I'm like, I have an excuse to talk about this now. But yeah, no, definitely the clicks with that. It is kind of weird because like, there's not many like theatrical Disney movies that are like obviously like modern day.
Right. Yeah.
You know, they're usually again obviously some sort of fantasy land or you know something else that's
in
like
the past.
Yeah. Like this features cars and like.
And it's not Cars.
Yeah. That poor car went through so much.
And then it almost fucking kills Goofy at the end.
Car was like, I'm gonna take some revenge.
And I'm taking you with me.
It's also interesting just watching it as an adult too, because I feel like as a kid, you very much see like Max's side of things, but then when you're an adult, you also understand Goofy's side of the matter too.
Mm-hmm.
And in that way, you kind of reach like a middle ground. Also, it's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, Pete's advice is just that though.
Yeah, I mean, well, Pete's a jackass, but that's like that's consistent. So you know. But I really like because I feel like it would be really easy for a movie like this to basically like fully take Goofy's side.
Yeah, definitely.
But they don't
even fully take Max's side too.
Yeah, I feel like more often it would be taking Goofy's side. But yeah, either way. But very clearly here they're like, no, they do things that both of you would want to do together, and try some things that maybe you're not into, but you think the other person be too. It's good, it's good both in terms of family relationship, but also like almost romantic relationship too. Advice, right?
Yeah.
And it's a really good connection with that, and I like it a lot. And it's like legitimately emotional too at points too. Yeah. It's just like like so because I remembered liking this as a kid, but like I like this like more than I thought I would actually watching this now. So. Yeah.
I genuinely I watched it a lot as a kid, but I didn't realize what how much I actually really enjoy and love this movie until I grew up.
This movie is very well written, I have to say.
Very well animated too.
Yeah, in general, it's very well put together.
Yeah.
I think the other thing. Oh, there was 2 pieces of trivia I had with this. One was
besides the guy in the car tied up.
So one is that this started off as just they were going to do like a movie for Goof Troop, which was a TV show that I guess it involves younger Max, but it takes place in the same universe and stuff like that. So, and then they were like, why don't we just make it a feature film? And I think at the time they were working on Lion King.
Oh, interesting.
And what happened was that because this was like a feature film for a TV show, they didn't versus Lion King. They put a lot of they had the animator, like the movie animators, focus a lot on Lion King instead. So this was actually used various studios around the world, and they also used like the animation studios that primarily did the TV shows and stuff like that too.
Oh, I see.
So that's also interesting. I saw that on Wikipedia.
That kind of reminds me of something actually about Lion King that I remembered reading, was that because Lion King and Pocahontas were being made together, and because so they apparently like sort of split like their movie animation team in half, and half were working Pocahontas, half working Lion King, and for some reason like Disney thought that like Pocahontas was going to be the big movie everyone wanted to see.
Yeah.
So all of like the actual like people who were like the the what do you call it, the people who like actually, what do you call
the
it?
big animators.
Right, the ones, the experienced ones who were like, really confident, the ones who'd been there for a long time, they were like, yeah, we're going to deal with the, the movie that's going to be more popular, Pocahontas, and all like the newbies were doing The Lion King. And then, well, yeah.
Look how that went.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just kind of a funny thing, but
also
but yeah.
for Goofy movie too, because I think that became more of an icon than Pocahontas in the end too.
We don't talk about Pocahontas.
Pocahontas is just very awkward to watch when you're older and you actually know how U.S. history went down. And the fact that Pocahontas was like 10, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fucked.
But anyway, Goofy movie.
Yes, Goofy movie.
Well, okay. Speaking of younger people, I actually like the sort of dynamic between Max and Roxanne a lot. Because
it's really adorable.
It's very often where like you have, it's like the awkward guy who like can't talk to the girl or whatever. That's super common, right? But having it also be that she's kind of awkward with talking to him, it's like, oh, I don't know if I've seen that before. Like, honestly, like where they're both awkward to each other like that. I don't know.
And they both have like the friend who's like, just go talk to the person you like, and they're like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, they're both.
That's so realistic.
Yeah.
That was so cute. Also, because the thing is that Roxanne, while it seems like she's like kind of popular, it's not like the I have to woo this like really popular girl who would never give me the time of day or something like that. It's like she admitted that she also liked him too, and she had liked him, and it's just really adorable.
Love it. Yuck.
Yeah. And but at the same time though, it's also not the other direction where it's like, oh, here's this girl that nobody cares about, but I saw her true inner beauty. It's like, no. She's just kind of normal. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, fine.
Normal girl.
Yeah.
Normal cute girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go get the normal cute girl.
That said, her dad is hilarious.
He doesn't say a single word, but his presence is so iconic.
Just looms.
With the shower cap on.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so there's just a lot of nice stuff, and again, the emotions are good. And again, the dialogue and characters are good. It's just it's really good, and
yeah.
Go watch Goofy movie right now.
Yeah, like I know there's I know there's a sequel, and I know that like I think everyone pretty much agrees it's not as good as like the first one, but I don't think the opinion is like negative on it. I think it's just like, yeah, it's all right, sort of. So I'm at least kind of curious to see the sequel, which I haven't seen.
I haven't seen it.
I've seen it once. I know it takes place when Max is in college and Goofy.
Yeah, I know that.
Also, I think it's like Goofy lost his job and also goes back to the same college, so.
Oh, they're going to college? Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. And it involves, exports.
Oh.
That was...
Okay.
I remember skateboarding was involved in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Those are the main things I remember.
All right.
But yeah. It's a very nice movie. Please go watch it.
Yes.
Go watch it now!
Well, I guess since you were the one who hasn't seen it yet, and I don't know, you seem very enthused. So, what are you rating it?
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Ooh.
I would definitely watch this again.
Well, that's funny because I was thinking like, man, I'm gonna give a number that they're gonna think is way too high, but I'm gonna give it a 9. I don't know. I really liked it. Like literally, like that moment. Okay, when they're like they first kind of like go into the river and they kind of yell at each other until like and then that whole thing. I
Yeah.
like started crying a little bit. So,
Oh.
so I'm like, okay, get a 9.
So I'm debating between two numbers.
Go with your gut.
I'm gonna give it a 10.
Oh wow!
Yay!
The thing is that it's kind of the same thing with Spider-Verse in a way, where like the music sticks with me, and the fact that I've been looking up the songs from this movie without even watching this movie again. Like I would be like, oh, I want to listen to the songs, I want to look things up about it and everything. Like I feel like that says something. So I'm like, I'm gonna give it a 10. I think it's actually one of my. I think at this point I have like come to the conclusion that it is actually one of my favorite Disney movies. So
Wow.
I guess it must be probably second-ish because Lion King is first.
yeah, Lion King is first. That's
So second-ish.
Yeah.
Technically another father-son movie.
Oh yeah.
Well, except this one does not end with death for the father.
No, the dad does not die halfway through.
No.
Spoiler for Lion King.
All you people who don't know the story of Lion King.
Alright. So,
Okay.
what are we watching next?
Well.
Where is our map leading us? What's the next destination?
Oh
Los
yeah.
Angeles.
Are we gonna change the? No, we're not. Well, we are gonna again move up another decade to the 2000s. And we are going to see a movie that I don't think is the same tone as this one. Once again, although
No.
this one I have not seen. And we are watching Atlantis. The something. I know there's a subtitle, but I don't remember what it is.
The Lost Empire?
That sounds right.
Lost Empire. I think you're the only one who hasn't seen this, right?
Nope.
John?
I just like recognize some of the character designs, and that's it, basically.
I've watched this twice.
I've watched this once. I don't know how things will go the second time because I remember being quite disappointed the first time.
Yeah, well, all I can say is, Fallon, you know how we were talking about Pocahontas before and how a lot of, and they thought that it was going to be much bigger than it ended up being?
Yeah.
Yeah, history's gonna repeat itself a little bit.
Okay. I mean,
fucking hell.
The issue is that, like, I know that, like, people don't, like, love this movie and that the overall, attention of it is kind of like, it's okay. So I'm coming into that, like, with that in mind. So I really don't, again, I don't know anything about this otherwise, so I'm just kind of, I don't know, I'll be curious to see what lukewarm entails, I guess. I don't know. Probably won't hate it, so good enough.
In any case, bye guys.
Bye. See you next time.